you for you. And we want to welcome Marianne and Saba. They are joining us in this webinar. They are from the student recruitment team of Corvinus University of Budapest. We are very happy to have them here. They are going to talk about the university and about the scholarship. And we at the U4U want to walk you through the process of the application, and we will have the information today to help you. You can leave your questions at the chat box, and we will record this session so you can see it in our YouTube channel later. Welcome, Marianne.
Thank you, Marisa, and good morning, everyone who is joining this webinar at this early time in Panama time. It's the afternoon here in Budapest, and we are absolutely delighted to welcome you all to our presentation. I'm head of student recruitment at the university here, Corvinus University of Budapest, and I am delighted to have with me our student ambassador and actually colleague who works with us in the marketing and communications department, Saba Gagoshidze from Georgia, an international student himself and also a Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship holder. Saba is full of experiences and knowledge that he can share with you today, not just about the university, but living in Budapest, living in Hungary, and of course, the process that is involved in the Stipendium Hungaricum process. So I don't want to take up any more time, but I wanted to make sure that I'm here to say hello to you. I am going to hand over to Saba because he will have all the details that you need.
Thank you, Marianne. Thank you for being here.
And I'm sliding in. Hello, everyone. Thank you,
Welcome,
Mari.
Saba.
Hello, Marisa. Thank you to Marianne for an introduction, and thank you, Marisa, for this opportunity. As Mari has mentioned, my name is Saba, and I currently work in the international student recruitment team, but I do have the experience of working in the admissions team of Corvinus as well. So besides this recruitment a part of it, I'm also very familiar with the entry requirements and admissions here. So hopefully the information I will give you today will be comprehensive. Once again, today we're going to talk about Corvinus University of Budapest, which is my first study learning destination as well. And I will share my experience and the scholarship of Stipendium Hungaricum and everything about the city itself as well. Let's start with the presentation. Quickly, here is our, for some reason, yes, there we go. Here is our table of contents, so to say, the agenda for today. Firstly, we will talk about Corvinus and what makes Corvinus or the city of Budapest so special. Then we will delve into Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship itself, as I know it might be one of the most interesting topics for you. All the programs that we offer, and Marisa, correct me if I'm wrong, but probably most of our attendees today are interested mostly in bachelor's programs.
Well, I'm not sure. We will have
It
to
might
wait.
be master's as well. We can
and in Panama, they can apply through bachelor's and master for the scholarship. So
absolutely, we can mention both, not a problem at all. Then tuition fees and living costs. Of course, this will be slightly different for Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship holders, and it's slightly different for the self-funded. So I will make sure to inform you on both ends. Then we will talk about the entry requirements and the application process itself. And then we will open the floor to the questions that will be accumulated in the chat, hopefully. Let's start with the introduction of Corvinus. As I've said, we are the leading business, economics, and social sciences university in Hungary. We mainly offer these three disciplines, and all of the programs that we have are related to these three fields. Currently, we have around 9,000 students enrolled, out of which 20% are international. And with the new tendencies, new rector, we're also very focused on increasing this percentage and this number even further. We want to make this 20%, 25 and 30, and maybe even more in the future. This amount of students comprises 80 plus nationalities, partially, of course, thankfully to the Stipendium Hungaricum program, as Hungarian government is in partnership with approximately 80 countries of the world. So yeah, that's about the international side of it. And as for the quality assurance of our university, what we are very proud of, and we think that this really solidifies our position on the global market, is our QS rankings. It is a simple quality assurance, and as you can see, we are in the range of from 251 to 300 in terms of business and management, from 401 to 450 in the field of economics, and number 389 exactly in social sciences. We do have the accreditations that not a lot of Hungarian universities hold in Hungary, AMBA and AACSB. And 120 plus years of history, which is a rather successful history as well, because during these 120 years, Corvinus has given the education to very, very influential Hungarian people, in very successful businessmen, politicians, and so on. Besides all this, why Corvinus again? Well, because first of all, it is highly affordable and quality education, not just Corvinus and the university itself, but the city as well. Budapest has one of the strongest playing cards when it comes to the affordability. If you go to any really neighboring cities, major European Union cities, I can almost guarantee you that they will be more expensive and more pricey than life in Budapest. And as a student, that, want it or not, plays a huge role. You will by studying at Corvinus and living in Budapest, you will gain a very international experience. A huge chunk of it will be, as I've mentioned, in the university, because we have so many people from all across the globe, but also Budapest, because of this, became really an international hub. There are masses of other universities who also have a lot of international students, and no matter where you look currently, you will find someone probably from at least the same region, at least the same culture, more or less, as you. So that makes life here much easier and much more appealing to everyone. This leads to exceptional career opportunities, and I would like to highlight that Corvinus, I am a live example of this. I am only a second-year student here at Corvinus, and I have been working here for almost a year already. So I started working in the recruitment and admissions team from the second semester.
Ava, you told me
Yes.
before that you know Halfit from Panama, but you know other Panamanians?
I have met them. Of course, I have met them. I know one personally. I'm a good friend of his, but I have met more Panamanians, definitely.
Okay, that's nice.
Not just in Corvinus, but in other countries, in other students from other universities, in
Okay.
social gatherings as well.
Okay, nice.
So back to the career opportunities. Besides the opportunity to work on campus, there are also a lot of multinational companies in Budapest, and we have the pride to say that a lot of them are our corporate partners. I do not know how familiar you might be with the European companies, as it is not very relevant to your region, but one of the biggest oil producers in Europe, called MOL, for example, is our corporate partner. The quickest growing airline in Europe, called Wizz Air, is also one of our corporate partners. And the CEO of Wizz Air is actually a director, a member of our board of directors. Most of the programs that we offer requires an internship, which sometimes it's pretty stressing for the students, but I can tell you that it is a very good thing, as Our corporate partners are aware of this, and they know that in order for our students to graduate, they need to have an internship. So you will have a lot of those opportunities thanks to a lot of offers from our partners, the job fairs that we organize, and kind of an on-campus recruitment that we have twice a year. So it is a huge advantage of studying in this city. It's as a freshman, it's very important, the career aspect of it. And of course, Stipendium Hungaricum and scholarship is probably one of the biggest motivations why you might want to come to Budapest. We offer, as Marisa said, full variety of bachelor's and master's and even PhD programs, and they are fully financed by Hungarian government, Tempus Foundation. In case your application is successful, of course, I will talk about it very soon. And one more thing that we can boast with is our new campus, Gellert, which is right across our oldest campus, and it is the most sustainable and most modern campus in Hungary currently. Here you can even see the Gellert campus slide. It was opened only last semester. It offers a wide variety of educational and community spaces. It has a sports center, very modern dormitory, and even a sauna, which probably not a lot of university campuses can put on their list of what they offer. To mention here, if your chosen program will be politics, philosophy, and economics, so PPE and data science, you will fully be studying on this campus. So it is a very good opportunity to study in one of the most modern campuses of Central Europe. Let's talk about Stipendium Hungaricum itself, as I know it is probably what a lot of you are here for. So the Stipendium Hungaricum offers a completely free tuition, which is worth approximately 20,000+ euros over the 3 or 4 years of study, depending on the program of your choice. It offers more than 20 programs to choose from that Corvinus offers as well, and a free accommodation. We have 3 dormitories that we offer to international students, and the good news is that Stipendium Hungaricum applicants have been the priority for us. So we try to prioritize these people, these students, and give them the free spot in our dormitory. So there's a higher chance for you to secure a place in our dormitory than for other students. Besides the accommodation costs that Stipendium Hungaricum covers, they will also pay you approximately 120 euros per month as the contribution to your living costs. You might need this money for transportation, for food, for just to have the pocket money. So that's about that as well. In case you want to rent an apartment and not to live in the dormitory, for example, you want to live with somebody else, you can also get the 110 euros that the government pays to the dormitory. So in total, in this case, your scholarship would be approximately 230 euros per month.
Sava, because you have that experience, what do you recommend? To live in the dormitories?
So the very common practice with our students is that in the first year, they come to the dormitory because it's very hard to secure an apartment when you're a newcomer to the city. It's much easier to stay in the dorm for the first year. Then you will, of course, get to know to a lot of students, make friends, and probably a lot of them will also be looking for an apartment. And then you can move out and, so to say, give your spot to the
Okay.
new freshman. That is probably the best practice that I could offer and the good recommendation. Of course, all of the programs that I will mention are fully in English. Corvinus offers 2 fronts, so to say. Hungarian students can apply to the Hungarian courses and international study fully in English. And Stipendium Hungaricum also allows you to work 30 hours per week as a student in Hungary, which I do as well. I utilize this opportunity, so I can tell you that you could do that as well. Let's move on to the undergraduate programs that we offer. Here we go. So from the fields of business, it is business and management and international business mainly. For from the economics, it is applied economics. And from two most popular programs for social sciences that I study and your Panamanian student that we have mentioned studies, it's communication and media science, and my program, international relations. These are one of the most demanding, not demanding, but in-demand programs that we currently offer.
And what
That's
about PPE? Because I know that only few universities offer that program.
actually only one, and it's us, Corvinus, that offers in Hungary. It is a UK-based program. It's one of the most traditional United Kingdom programs, and we were the first ones that adopted this program. And now it's really gaining the leverage, I would say. I have a lot of friends that study there. They
Yeah.
study fully on the new campus. That's one advantage. The
Mhm.
second one, it gives you, it opens the doors to both technical fields, as it involves the economy as well, and the humanitarian fields, because it's also partially politics and philosophy. So it is a very, very complex and very nice program to study.
Yeah. Yeah. I only know like other university in Ireland and Spain that offer that program.
Absolutely. So and this is also the only second year that this program is in run. Last year was the very first batch, and it was a huge success, I would say. Let's move on to the tuition fees and living costs. For the Stipendium Hungaricum, of course, tuition fee is completely covered, as I've mentioned. But again, for the self-funded, I'm mentioning this because sometimes, it happens that Stipendium Hungaricum is very, very competitive. I will also mention this later, and how can you go on if you do not get the scholarship. But for self-funded students internationally, for you as Panama is not the member of EEA, it is approximately from 5 to 8,000 euros per year. So around 2.5 slash 4,000 euros per semester, which again is noticeably more affordable than other universities in Europe, many universities in Europe, and especially in America, for example. The costs that you can expect living in Budapest, based on my experience and the experience of my peers, for accommodation, if you decide to rent an apartment, for example, if you want to live with your friend, you could be looking at the range of 350 euros. If you want to rent a whole apartment to yourself, a studio in Budapest, probably the price will be slightly up there, probably around 550, 600 euros even, with the inflation. The food, 100, 150, 200 euros per month, depending on your standards, of course. And transport was 10 euros per month. But now the city mayor introduced a reform, and for the students, it is only 2.5 euros a month, and this grants you access to all means of transport, unlimited amounts of times. And I would like to highlight that I've visited many European cities. I'm from Georgia myself, and really, I have not seen this good of transport system in any other cities. I mean, from the very end of the city, you can get to another end of the city, probably in 25 minutes. And you would probably agree that as a student, that's a huge benefit, because your life is very hectic, very active, and you really have not a single minute to spare. So this is a good benefit. Besides the transportation benefits, students get other discounts as well. For example, in museums or cafes, the lounges to sit down and study with your friends. So this is one of the big perks of Budapest and being a student in Budapest too. Let's talk about the timeline of Stipendium Hungaricum. As you may know, the applications are currently open, and they will last up until 15th of January. So you have the time to apply until 15th of January. And the sending partner of Panama has to nominate each and single person that will be entitled to the scholarship. That's, so to say, the first step. And you will know about your nomination, so whether or not your sending partner chose you, by mid-March. Now, we do not really participate in the screening process of the sending partners, so they might have different tactics of choosing the applicants. So Marisa probably knows more about it, or you could find that out
Yeah.
on their website.
They will do an interview.
An interview. Awesome. Yes, so these practices are different in every country, so that's why I wanted to clarify. So once you know about your nomination, you will have to pass the entrance exam with us at Corvinus. As you may know, you will have the option to put 2 programs and 2 universities in your application. So you might apply to 2 programs only, and these can be from different universities. When it
And they
comes
can apply to 2 programs in the same university also, right?
Of course. It could be 2 programs at Corvinus as well. And depending on your priority, so if, for example, the program at Corvinus is your first priority, you will be examined. We have the entrance exam, which I will talk about later, in April. But if it's your second choice, you will be interviewed or sit an exam in May. If both of your choices are at Corvinus, it will be the same. The first priority will happen in April, second priority will be in May. After this, of course, there's a period when you will need to wait for us to tell you about your acceptance. That usually doesn't take too long, and you will receive the conditional acceptance if you haven't already submitted all the necessary documents. We do wait for people who haven't yet graduated, for example, to provide their diploma and final transcripts. So you will only receive, and this is very important, the unconditional letter after you have submitted all of your documents. So the diploma, the transcripts, the language proficiency test, and this usually happens by the end of June, beginning of July, mid-July even maybe. Again, it depends on when you provide these documents.
Most of the high school here in Panama finish on December, so they will have those documents ready.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good news. So sometimes it becomes a problem with the visa applications, because if we hand them out later in July and there are huge lines in the embassies and consulates, they're late with the visas, but that's very good news, Marisa. So that's not a threat for you guys, whoever is listening. So after this, with this document, the unconditional acceptance letter and letter of award of the scholarship, in case Tempus allocates it for you, you can already apply for visa. For self-funded, the timeline is slightly different, but I would like to highlight here that even if you do not create a separate self-funded application, you will still have the chance to continue the study self-funded if you are not within the quota of Tempus. So maybe you will get nominated, we will also accept you, but then Tempus does not allocate a scholarship for you. We will give you the chance to study self-funded. You will not have to retake any exams, as you will be already accepted. And there is a tick box in the Stipendium Hungaricum application, and it says, I want to be considered as a self-funded student in case I'm not allocated the scholarship. So if you tick that, we will know that we should contact you in case you're not allocated the scholarship. So keep that in mind as well.
Okay, and I have a question. If they know by the end of March that they are not one of the nominees of the scholarship, they can do the application process for self-funded,
Absolutely.
right?
They
They still have time until May. That's the deadline.
The deadline is end of April, yes. So
Okay.
if you're not nominated by your sending partner, feel free to create a separate application,
We
self-funded.
will help them with that.
Thank you for the assistance. So a bit more about the numbers of the scholarship holders. The reason why I'm mentioning the self-funded opportunity this much is that this scholarship is highly competitive. The students come from 80 countries of the world, And for Corvinus numbers, only last year we had more than six, not we, through Stipendium Hungaricum, Corvinus was in one of the priorities out of these two that you can put by 6,000 applications that we received. Out of which only 15 to 20%, so 1,100 people were nominated by the sending partners. 600 of them were accepted by us, and only 300 of them got the scholarship from Tempus. So if we do math, if someone is really good at math, this gives us a very low acceptance rate, and it's really highly competitive. But this should not discourage you to apply, of course. Still, 300 people get the scholarship, and of course, you can be one of them.
And it's a really good scholarship.
These are, I mean, it's a lot of effort, it's very competitive, but as you can say, it's worth it. It will be the beginning of your academic, professional, and every type of life that you haven't had before. So, and of course, the financial help is significant in this case. It's not a partial coverage, it's full tuition coverage plus monthly stipend for your living costs. And the visa process as well. The Stipendium Hungaricum applicants do not have to pay any visa fees that self-funded students are entitled to. The residence permit that you will have to do here in Hungary, it's going to be also free for you as for the Stipendium Hungaricum applicant. The scholarship holder, I mean. The entry requirements now. So let's move to the admissions side of it. First thing, we require the B2 English language, Cambridge, IELTS, TOEFL IBT, TOEIC, IC, not a very popular one, but still we accept it, and even Duolingo, which is the cheapest alternative out of all these, and the quickest one usually. So you do need to provide the English language proficiency certificate unless you took the A levels and you had a minimum grade of B in the English language. So that will be almost the only exemption. We will need a high school diploma, 12 years of education. In some cases, it's 11 because from the elementary or middle school, there are less years, but they still have the 3 years of high school. So we will need a final high school diploma. Again, as I know, you will have it by the time you apply or finish your application. So that's not a problem for you. And the passport for European Union citizens, the national ID works as well, but for you, we will require an international passport. Also,
Panamanians don't need visa right now. So
sorry,
that's
Marisa?
really good. Panamanians don't need visa right now.
They
so
don't need
that's-
visa. That's also great. I didn't need visa as well, so I came here with this 3-month agreement that my country has with Hungary, and I applied for the residence permit right away, and that really simplifies a lot
The
of
same
bureaucratic.
from Panamanians, and that's really
Amazing.
good.
Amazing. The deadline for the B2 English certificate usually is 1st of August for Stipendium Hungaricum, so keep that in mind as well. But the earlier the better, because you will receive your unconditional letter only after you submit all the documents, including this. About the entrance exams, for bachelor level, we have mathematics exam for the technical field, so for all the business and economics courses that I've mentioned. It is not a very complex, of course, mathematics exam. If you have seen the SAT sample tests, some of the topics might be similar. We do have the preparation materials, which is even linked here. It's also available on our website. After you're familiar with the preparation materials, you can go on and take a one-time sample test, which is identical to what is covered in the real life test. So once you're familiar with this and once you're familiar with the sample test, you should be good for the real exam. And of course, for the social sciences program, so for international relations and for the communications and media science, it is an interview. You do not need to pass the written test. It is only interview. This will be an interview with the program director or the commission, comprising different professors, associate professors. Mostly they will assess your motivation, why you want to study at Corvinus, Hungary, and the specific program, what goals you might have. Of course, the questions are different every year and for every applicant. No one knows this, but based on my experience, it is mostly about your motivation, life goals, and so on. And there's only one program, the PPE, that requires both mathematics exam and the
Okay.
oral interview. But we should mention that because it has both of these, the thresholds are slightly lower than for other programs. So slightly lower score on the mathematics, you need a slightly lower score to pass it, and you need slightly lower score on the interview as well. If you do not have any question, Marisa, I think you wanted to ask something.
Yeah, well, we have one question on the chat box, but we can answer at the end.
Sure. So final thoughts. I've talked about Budapest, a highly affordable, quality education, the Europeans aligned with all the European standards, accredited education. You will get the full scholarship if you're a Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship holder, with monthly allowance. We do have the self-funded programs in case you do not get the scholarship, and we will give you the opportunity to study these. And a little spoiler, we are really trying to incentivize the students that will miss out on this opportunity of Stipendium Hungaricum, with maybe scholarships, maybe some subsidies. We will see. It's not official yet, but
Okay. You will let us know, right?
absolutely. I will let you know. And in the final slide here, when I move to this, there's our newsletter, which everyone should make sure to sign up for it. And in case we have some news regarding this, you will get the notification through the newsletter. And it is a very important thing that university is working on currently. So make sure not to miss out on it. Living costs of just 7,000 euros. This is a very approximate number a year for self-funded students. An ideal and balanced lifestyle, which includes both academic aspect, so learning, studies, the work. You will get your probably first internship here, and the entertainment is a big part of Budapest. It's a very vibrant, very full of these entertainment opportunities city. You might have heard that nightlife, for example, is a very big topic in Budapest, and it's famous for it. And for students, it's very appealing. And you will get a very international experience. English language will be fully satisfactory for you. You do not need to know Hungarian to go through your daily life in the city, as pretty much everywhere our generation speaks English fluently, but everywhere you go, for example, banks, for the services, different services, the government office, where generation might not be ours, there still will be someone who speaks English, so you should not worry about that either. As a conclusion, as I've mentioned, here's our newsletter. And every news about the city, about the student life, about reforms and changes in the university, and even scholarships or whatever will be the news, you will be updated. If you go ahead and scan this here, you will receive it whenever we have the newsletter to send out. And for the further contact, this is our international student recruitment email address, which I check regularly, almost every day. So make sure to contact me if you have any problems, any concerns, any questions. I will answer your email right away, and we can even schedule one-on-one calls. We are one of the universities that does provide this service, that we can talk with each other too. And I will be happy to talk to you about not just the university, but about the student life and the city itself as well. So thank you for the
Thank you.
attention. Now we can move to the questions.
To
if
the
there are
questions, yeah. The first question is, if they are graduated from 11th grade, do they need a letter from the school explaining that they have 11 years education?
No, absolutely not. As long as you have the final diploma, you can just indicate it in the comment section of our Dream Apply platform that you only had 11 years of schooling. That's a common practice. We face the students like this every year, so not a problem
They
at all.
won't need a foundation or everything like that.
No, absolutely not. The
Oh.
only thing is the age. If you're not 18 at the time of the enrollment, which is September, you will need a legal guardian to come in with you in person and sign all the
Oh.
necessary documents. Or someone else can also, yeah, so legal guardian basically, yes.
Okay. The other question is about, could you please tell us about OTMs? It means one-tier master like medicine, if those are included in the programs. I told them that Corvinus offer business and communication masters, right?
We do offer a variety of masters. For some reason, we thought that the presentation should have been about the bachelor's only, but let me very quickly show you the programs that we offer, the graduate ones. Most of them are also listed under the Stipendium Hungaricum government program. So be sure to check that on their website, indicating your nationality. But if you
Yeah, and
apply
it
to
will
program,
filter a list of the programs and universities.
yes. But quickly, I will show you all the programs that we offer, if we have the time for this, Marisa.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, awesome. Let me share.
And another question is if I can apply to the scholarship at any time. No, they have deadlines.
Yes, you have to apply from 15th of November when it was launched until January 15th. But of course, this scholarship is every year. Well, we do not know how long it will run, of course. This year it runs, so you will have time until 15th of January.
Yeah.
I hope you can see the screen now.
Yeah, we can see the website now.
So here are a lot of programs that we introduced lately. So from the fields of management, you can see all these 4 programs. The new one is diversity and inclusion management, innovation and entrepreneurship. I will just mention the fields and you can take a look at the exact courses, guys. Marketing and communications, finance and accounting, informatics, analysis, international programs, so international relations or international economy and business, politics and economics, and MBA. So we offer this many, 23 master's programs, out of which 7 are one-year programs.
Okay. They are asking about what age they need in order to apply, or if they have like a limited age.
That is not really limited. As I've said, if you have already graduated, which is usually at the age of 18, 19, sometimes 17, but in case you're 17, you will just need a legal guardian. That's it. For the rest, we do not mind the age 18, 19, and I even have a course mate who's significantly older than us, many course mates, so age doesn't really matter for us. You will have the equal chances with others.
And for the scholarship, do you know if they have a maximum?
No, not stipendium for sure.
Okay.
But I don't know about the sending partner, as it is very individual to the certain countries.
Okay. I have only experience with students applying to bachelor, but I know they can apply for master and also PhD programs.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we have more questions because the other ones are about medicine. Well, Corvinus doesn't offer medicine.
No.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
yeah, again, if there are any other questions,
Yeah,
Maurice,
Mabel wants to talk. She wants to.
sure.
Hi, Mabel, you're muted, but you can now talk if you want to ask a question.
I also see a question, what are the most popular programs at Corvinus? I would say probably from the business fields, as we have the accreditations that other universities really do not. Here in Hungary, from business is very popular, specifically business and management, and from social sciences, really all three of them. So international relations, communications and media science, and PPE are very, very popular. One more thing for the acceptance, we do have the threshold, so the amount of points that you have to score in order to get admitted. International relations and communications and media science usually have the highest threshold, so they are the most competitive.
I'm letting Mabel talk. I don't know if she's muted.
Well, if it doesn't have to be really asked now. If you have this question in the future, I'm sure Marisa can help you out.
Yeah.
Those from the agency.
Yeah, we at the U4U will be happy to help the students walk through the process of the application to the scholarship and also the application to Corvinus, and help them with the questions they have. Yeah.
And
Thank you
yes,
very
of
much,
course, we are also
Saba.
happy to collaborate. So
Yeah, thank you very much, Saba. We will keep in touch. I hope that we have a lot of students applying to the Stipendium Hungaricum and also to the university. And thank you very much for your time and for all the information. It was very helpful.
thank you so much, Marisa. We're absolutely hoping for the same. And thank you for your attention and for this opportunity. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.